Hey, what's going on YouTube? Climb here. Thanks for joining me on another gameplay breakdown episode. So I want to go through this. This is our second video with Howlett and I doing doubles. And the last one was skirmish. This one's actually salvage. So it plays a little bit different. I kind of want to talk about that. This is much more of a close game than last time. And like this snipe right here, I get a lot of really sexy snipes I'd love to highlight. So once I get that initial push, I want Howlett and I to really rush in. Make sure this guy doesn't get that extra 50 points of the res. And so we're able to push in together and at least cause a little bit of radar confusion, which is great. We got the guy down, and we wanted to go get this, get the relic. Now this is pre-rise of iron, so the old rules apply where it's much more effective to actually, as far as point-wise, to actually dismantle or disable the relic than actually grab the relic. And so unfortunately here we made a mistake that I want to talk about as far as salvage goes. So we were both on the salvage point, right? They shut you down, capturing it, but someone pinged up on our radar. So I know that I just got one guy down, and that the first guy that we had probably killed had come back. And so a good rule that I think I learned from watching True Vanguard talk about this was specifically within salvage that you want to try to eliminate both the teammates, or if you're playing normal salvage, you know, all three teammates, opposing team, before you actually capture the point, because otherwise you're going to give them the advantage, right? Again, this is the old point system. I haven't really played the Rise of Iron system now as far as points go, but I think it should still work in principle. Similarly, that you want to try to make sure you get all the guys down before you capture your point. So like right now, Howlett, right, he's over on the capture point. He's starting to capture it, but I told him to back off because I want to make sure that I'm rushing over to help back him up. So he gets one guy down, gets second guy really weak, and I'm able to back him up, right? So he's down. I see in front of me, both of those guys are down. So now I deem that it is safe for us to go to and capture the point. So because that gives us enough time for them to respawn, run over, and for us to defend it. So this guy pings up, and now we're trying to defend it. So again, what I was wanting to talk about last time is when we were underneath, what I felt like we did wrong, is that this guy was pushing us while we were still on the point. So when he started rushing us, what we should have done is get off the salvage point, not capture it, and make sure that he was dead. And then that second guy would probably come up, make sure he is dead before we go back on that salvage point. Otherwise, if they get that momentum rush in, as they did, and they're able to then kill us both, and they'll get get us off. And here it sucks. I mean, I thought they should have got that guy down. I mean, as far as they get the kills, but again, they get the points for the disable. But it still worked out actually, because we were able to defend it, we were able to reposition, and so we're doing our best to try to you know, stay close together as we did in the last video. But a lot of times you'll see us split off and make bad decisions. And again, if I can go back to that first salvage point, what I would have really liked to do different or better is, instead of turning around and challenging from that lower stair portion, I would have loved to see me run back around towards the top of the salvage point and then jump back down. So that would have given me much more time to oh, here comes another sexy snipe, I think. Yeah, buddy. I would have preferred me to come back on top, jump back down, because that would have given me enough time to res my health, regen my health, regen some of my grenade and melee ability, and then hopefully surprise him from a different angle, because my aim from those previous engagements was over his head. So here, alright, so we had the salvage point, we were safely able to capture it with no one around, and then now we're trying to reposition to cover our flanks. And I had waved earlier because the other guy had dropped, and it was a 1v2. I jumped over, I don't know if you noticed, but like from behind that cover, I jumped over his sightline, expecting him to be hard scoping, and so it worked out for me, but unfortunately it didn't work out for Howlett, getting him sniped off. So I am hard scoping. I'm not going to worry about getting the res, because I'm anticipating, I'm reading him that what's going to happen is that he'll get him down, and he was going to rush in. So I was just hard scoping to see what would happen. Thankfully it worked out. So right when Howlett rezzed, if you don't know this, you'll pretty much res right where your opposing team or your other teammate is, which is great, because Howlett spawned right next to me, and we were able to go back to that 2v1 scenario. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're trying to think about reses and sightlines especially. I mean, you hear me talk about this a lot, like slide jump over sightlines, because you just expect someone to try to be hard scoping you.
Guardian down.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough, because I think you'll see this a number of times where it's worked out because I jumped up over sightline where I'm not just walking in head height. So then when it's heavy round, I don't think there's anything special here. I think I'm pretty sure I completely whiffed. So right, just reloading on some ammo, nothing too exciting. And then now they're on the relics. I'm like, perfect. I've got this great opportunity for me to, get them down from a distance. I couldn't shoot. Sometimes that mechanic works out where you try to jump up and shoot and it just doesn't happen. And then I completely whiffed hitting that. And then that second rocket, I don't actually know why it didn't work. So now I'm just booking. I mean, they got rockets, they've got a machine gun behind me, so I'm gonna see if I can snipe someone, but it just doesn't work out. So Howlett gets one down with his heavy, which is great. So now I'm trying to push in with the orb, chuck a grenade, trying to get that off, protect that orb anyway. And then I rush in, get 2 headshots with that follow-up with that melee, and this dude melts me with the heavy. But I'll take the trade with the heavy any day. Now, while it's a great engagement, unfortunately we still lose this relic. We're not able to disable it because we keep getting split off. So like I'll rush in without Howlett as my teammate. Howlett rushes in without me as my teammate. And so without that double cover, it doesn't play to our favor, right? So unlike last game, we were working together, rushing in together into the engagements. You're starting to see us split off a lot here. So it's making the points, right now we're actually losing, but you're making these points a lot more difficult to win. And nothing I could do as far as my super goes. I mean, guy had a great Nova. I could have tried to blink. I probably just didn't react quickly enough. And so now we're just kind of repositioning, waiting for the next relic to come up and see where our radar pings to see if we can get any pigs. Just want to see where we can next engage and see. Again, we're split, and I'm trying to get the angle, right? So I'm trying to get the opposing angle, but unfortunately this dude maps me with Hawkmoon. And now it's kind of funny here. You've seen me, hopefully in the previous video where I talk about Hawkmoon specifically, worrying about ballistics and how different they can be. I'm actually checking because this dude I felt like had really good shots on me. So I wanted to see what he was running as far as his ballistics go. Because I'm always curious, like if someone's running a different ballistics and it's working for them, maybe I'll try it next time when I use that, say in this case, that Hawkmoon. So I thought I could get that pick. Obviously I don't. I'm backing off. I immediately get behind cover, right? So I'm not, when I am peeking out, you see how close I am to cover. So if I do get hit like that, I can duck in really quickly. I'm not trying to expose myself for too long. And we let them get the relic. Not that we had the choice, but I throw a grenade down there. You see I get one guy, and this guy's close. I can't figure out where he's at on my radar. Get that dirty little pick. He must have had, that must have been the guy I got the grenade on. Howlett goes down, so now I'm just trying to protect this this orb. Goes down, and I get that nice little quick scope. So I don't worry about Howlett's res, right? So this is a specific decision within Salvage. I rush in, I disable it. Now I'm damaged. I'm running away. I turn around. This is ballsy, and I get this dirty little snipe. I was happy about that. I couldn't follow it up with this, and then this dude, look at, like, blinks in with that Warlock melee. Just disgusting. But at least we're able to get the points. So I wanted to go back into that that Salvage engagement. So I didn't get Howlett's res, so I don't actually know if that was a good decision, bad decision, but I committed to my decision. And with that decision, I know that there was a guy going to be on my back right that I needed to be aware of for him doing damage on me and killing me, absolutely destroying me. But if you noticed, I was jumping up and down. So I was holding my square button and then also tapping on my X because I wanted to make sure he's not getting his headshots on me. That's all that was. I mean, I could have been crouching, but I think jumping just creates a little bit more of a distraction. I was still close enough to the relic where I could both disable it and jump at the same time. And I think, honestly, that's how I survived, besides that he was using an auto rifle. But I just thought that was a really smart decision, surprisingly, on my part. Because, again, I was disabling it and jumping at the same time, cognizant of the fact that he was going to be trying to kill me off of it. And I think, honestly, that's the only reason why I survived. So just maybe like that might be more of an advanced tip. I don't know if you can always perform that to the greatest of effect, but I just thought that was really well executed. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that in case you had missed that. So we're not capturing this quite yet. I know we're getting close to, and I think this is probably a bad decision on our part because we didn't get these guys down. And fortunately, we didn't also communicate as far as supers because we're wasting points, wasting supers, and obviously I think we get this probe and we're defending it well, but it's just a waste of supers. That's all, not a big deal. I'm just waiting for them to reset. So trying to check these corners, making sure I'm looking at my radar, and I'm not standing too close to the relic. I want to try to see, like, get him from a distance, and Howlett gets one. So I'm going to try to cover his back. So as he goes in, getting that second guy's damage on him, that was a bad decision on my part. I should have absolutely rushed in and helped Howlett. That was poor team play on my part. Absolutely poor team play. Now I'm damaged again. I'm running, and I'm seeing if I can get this Titan down again if he's rushing at me. And I get the body shot on him, and just immediately chuck the grenade, expecting him to rush me, because this guy loves to rush. So now I'm just repositioning. Howlett and I are trying to get back together. I keep whipping up my sniper, seeing if I can get that turn around and get that headshot. And unfortunately, you see Howlett and I keep getting split, and because we're split, he's able, he's getting those team shots on him. And then when we're split, I'm getting team shots on me. It's just not fair for us, and it's really poor decision making on our part. So when he's rezzed, Howlett should be running towards me. When I res, I should be running towards him, and we should be coming together, meeting together before we actually engage. So you see how far apart we are. So while it can work, or as far as like maybe getting angles, like I'm just working a different angle than he is, and it doesn't work out well against this team. So I'm zoned off. So I'm just seeing if I can get this guy down over in the corner, and there's only 30 seconds left. It's a little glitchy right there. Oh, look at this. Again, this poor dude keeps getting sniped around that corner as he rushes me, and I get this look at my sight line right there, how narrow it was. I knew that I had the upper hand there, because as soon as someone blips up over through that, I'm able to get that shot off much more easily before he is. I know where his head will be. He doesn't know where my head will be necessarily. And now I'm staying forward where he was getting that res. I'm staring forward because I wanted to Howlett to get these last few points because the game was so close. I take the sacrifice through the Nova bomb, and unfortunately I get scatter grenaded down. So it was a lot of decision making there. So Howlett was getting the salvage point. I was trying to defend him, making sure they're not getting those reses and extra points, and just try to create a little bit of pressure since the time is so close to being down. And then unfortunately the guy just gets through me through the Nova, and then I ran out of bullets, couldn't get the melee. Now, and unfortunately he was able to get that that disable. And so while I was able to get the snipe on him, you could see how close the score was. That disable really could have helped them had it been in time. They actually could have won. So you can see the difference between these engagements where Howlett and I are together versus apart. So just keep in mind when you're doing 2s, you're doing 3s, even in the advance of doing 4s. Just keep that in mind. Stay together, stay in pairs at least, and get these team fires down. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed some of those snipes because they were fun to watch. Thanks, guys.